We've got another guest.
Hey
Woohoo.
guys.
Welcome everyone. Welcome to 2023.
Yeah, welcome,
Oh, God,
welcome.
it feels
We
good.
are we are Danny Kendall and Damien Johns and our special guest Alexander, who we don't even know who that is. Um, but that's awesome that you're here. Excuse me. We just decided to run a little impromptu recording for whoever wanted to listen. So we appreciate that all of Australia's asleep, but it's not often that Daniel and I are on at the same time. And I was just telling Daniel how much I respect him as a trader, and telling him that I think it's worth students from across the globe taking notice of Danny's skill set, because I think he's a really awesome analyst, and I think that he's in for big success in the future. So I'm very, very happy to be on this call with you, my friend.
Thank you, thank you. Really appreciate them kind words. It's been a tough road for me. I've gone through the losses. There've been times when I wanted to quit. There've been times I wanted to just throw my computer out the window, but I kept it all together. I kept going, slowed right down, to a point where I'm really zooming into charts and just looking and thinking about what's going on, what the candles are telling me. Um, the market structure is very important to me because once you identify the market structure, then you can progress to look at the candles. And that's how it all, it's all started coming together. So yeah, thank you.
So have you found that by watching the hub over and over again, you've gotten better, and you've kind of
Yeah,
been able to find out where to source information more effectively?
yeah, absolutely. The technical analysis training, the videos in the Elevate Hub were key in developing my skills. So I got through them. I watched them a few times, but in addition to that, doing your charts every day, even if you don't take the trade, set the trade up as if you were to take it, and then come back to it the next day or in a couple of days and see how it played out. And you sort of get a feel for how each setup scenario would play out. And also catching up on the recordings as well. I really like the way Jason explains everything, the psychology behind everything, and Sham's recordings are very good. I don't always manage to catch them live because of the time zone difference, but that's no problem because they're all recorded anyway. So yeah,
And
Elevate Hub has been a big.
and do you like, which ones do you find yourself like watching the recordings of? Like I myself love watching the way Phil teaches, because I learn a lot on both perspectives about A, the way he teaches, and B, what he teaches. And Jason, like I respect the others, but I catch them when I can, but I am always in tune with Monday and Wednesday night, because I think that even Jason, the simplicity and the way he explains things is exactly up my alley. And I think that the tutors that we have available to us, from you and I to Jason Grigg and Holton or whoever, um, I think that if someone's style gravitates toward your learning style, then why not hang out with them a bit more, you know?
Hmm. Absolutely.
Hmm.
Well, should we have a look at some charts and we could go over some recent trades that I've done?
Yeah, let's do it. So you've thrown mask up in the chat, so let's get our gloves on and see what we come up with here.
Right. Shall I share my screen?
Yeah, man, get into it. Hang on.
And let's do it.
Yeah.
1 second.
So let's just so everyone knows, it's 1 a.m. here where I am. What time is it where you are?
It's 3 p.m.
Yeah, sweet. I got the raw end of the deal.
That's all right. We can
We
go
can
on for
swap.
as long as we can go on. Yeah. So I've just cleared up everything, just so we can start from scratch. So the first thing that I noticed straight away is that we're in a downtrend and it looks like we are beginning to turn around. But you have to mark out your support and resistance levels and also your trend lines as well. So one of the levels that sticks out to me is we've had a double bottom here previously, looking left. So that is a strong reversal area. So if I plot a level there, maybe try and just cover it. Sometimes I'll just cover it as a zone because you do have these wicks down, and then you've got these wicks here that didn't quite reach this line. So I'll mark it off as like a zone, something like that. So then you've got your major reversal area when this was support, and then you've got your reversal area when this was resistance.
So can you zoom in on what you see as a zone and teach us that? Just while we got you, just why not? Why not take a teachable moment?
So I'll mark it off as a zone because you've got wicks up into this area and multiple rejections. And similar here, you've got a wicks down. So when this candle's wicked down, people were quick to buy back in and push price back up. And then similar when it was flipped, but when it's pushed up and it's a resistance level, people are there and they're quick to sell. So buyers push price up and the sellers are like, nope, you're not coming above here. We'll push you back down. And then that's what happens. So the coin will trace and come back again. It will sort of accumulate and come up again for another touch, build some more strength, build some more momentum, and eventually push through. So I've marked my major level there.
And how did you did you just kind of randomly draw the zone, or is it place to place, or what? Is it at the end of that first wick that you drew on the left?
What do you mean that sort of down here?
Yeah. Yeah, why did you stop it where you stopped it?
Because I'm trying to cover, as much of the candle closure bodies as I can.
Yeah.
These are the bodies that stop there, the bodies that stop there.
Yeah.
And then here as well. So just a little bit more.
Yeah, I like your color too. I think that blue is a good highlight color. And I think that's important that you know where your support lines are. So that's really good. And then, just so people know, you can change the color of something just by double clicking and changing the settings in your trading view. Just practice with that kind of thing with trading view, and you'll get to a point where you can do a lot more than you think you can with trading view. So make sure you get to know it a bit better. Sorry,
absolutely.
man. I digress.
Absolutely. I went through a lot of different themes and different colors just to try and find what works for me, what I like to look at. At first, I had it on because this screen is a gradient color. I've got two colors. It starts off white at the top and it merges into a gray at the bottom. But I didn't like it when it was just all white. I thought it's just a bit too much for me. I like to dull it down. It'll have sort of less stress on your eyes, and it's nice. You can keep looking at it and focus on it.
I like it.
Same with the candles as well. I don't know. I just like the dark blue. I had green when I first started. I had green for a while, but I do like the dark blue. So we've marked out our major reversal area here. So here it's support, here it is resistance. We've broken through here, and now we're having a slow retracement. And what I'm looking for is this level to hold with multiple wicks to the downside, a few candle closures. This isn't a strong breakout. My idea of a strong breakout would be something like this. We have a nice push up, we have a very slow retracement, something like that, and then this holds.
Oh yeah, they're the ones.
Considerable amount of, because I've taken trades like this before. I think, look, we've broken through.
Yeah.
And I'm like, right, I'm in. But then it just
they ran out of steam. They ran out of steam. Yeah, and I meant to mention that you said before that you like the blue wicks, the blue candles, and the red ones. And all I see is you trying to draw the English flag, mate. You're just trying to draw the Union Jack on your screen.
I'm British. What can I say?
Very patriotic, my friend.
Yeah, love it.
Love it.
So then what I'll do is I've noticed the breakout here, slow retrace it to support. I'll then look for the next level. So I'll pull my cursor up and down and just eye up what I believe looks like a support level. So then I'll look at, I'll go up and down like this for a while and just try to find it until it looks right. So this sort of stood out to me. And the reason why it did stand out is because of this big reversal there. That is a huge pivot point. That's where the price bounced up quite fiercely and pushed up to the upside. So, and it is also validated to me by this wick rejection here. So if I zoom in just a little bit more. So not only have we got a buyers sat here that push the price up, when it's pushed through here, we've also got sellers here that push the price back down. So, okay, I'm thinking, do I really want to take this trade? Because I know that this isn't a strong breakout, and this is a strong break. It's not a strong breakout, and it's a quick rejection. So I'm thinking, do I want to take something like this? Is it really worth it? It's, barely a 2-to-1.
Yeah.
And that's only if you do get in the trade right down here.
Yeah.
It's a risky trade.
It is. So, but what I'm seeing there is maybe that's only attempt number one. Like maybe it's just a little kind of pop your head out of the water and then come back and shoot through the second time a lot better. Could be that too, because the wicks to the upside only penetrating the resistance line means that really there's still a little bit of play in that thing.
Yeah.
Just have to see. I know we have to wait and see, but it's cool to watch.
See that we've got this here. So there we've got a rejection here off this same level. Price pushed up, wick to the downside. Price tried to push through, closed below, sell off, bounce up. So that's validated for me. So I'm not interested in taking that trade. It's risky. It's too risky for me. I'm looking for the bigger trade. So,
but why aren't you looking at? I'm totally with you to this point. So here's my extension, I guess, of what you're saying. Why aren't you seeing that where it's bounced off twice? It's only fallen through once, but bounced off twice. It's bounced off really bullish. So this is why I'm thinking that. So you see, if you just keep the screen still, when you look at this here and this here as two bullish pushes, because they're both bullish pushes off, it would make sense that that one's going to be as well, because the only time that that's fallen through is when it had already lost momentum well before it. It just kept going. So to me, that there is a strong point of rejection.
Oh, sorry.
Bullish direction. Yeah. And no, that'd be sorry, because I got to my point, but I mean, there's an argument to that. I'm not saying that that's necessarily the case, but there's definitely an argument there to say that that could be a line of more bullish support than bearish resistance,
But what we've got to consider is that with these two bounces, you didn't have this trend line pushing you back down.
Correct. But it's got to break.
So I mean, okay, yeah, cool. You can take the trade there. You could take the trade there because you don't have a trend line literally just in your way, ready to push you back down. So you could take that long. Yeah. And then it just rejects to come back down. See, so it looks like it's already starting to reverse now. But I'd feel much safer taking something like this. Once we get that break, we're clear of all that previous structure. We're clear of everything. That'd be the safer trade for me.
Oh, totally. Yeah, it would be.
Yeah, because I think once it breaks through here, I'm thinking about what everyone else is seeing as well, and they're going to put buy orders in.
Yeah, I'm with you. And how good would it be if that little triangle happened to the end, the squeeze in the triangle? And it would be textbook if it's shorted from there, wouldn't it? Because it's come from the upward trend previously. And it's almost the textbook descending triangle followed by a drop in the same direction as from where it came from. Because that's what the education tells us to look for.
You could have something like that, couldn't you? And then a real tight squeeze and then a pop out.
It could pop up, but if you look from where it's come from previous to where you drew the trend line, then you can see that it's come from an upward point. In which case the probability would be that it would fall short. If you zoom out further and squeeze the screen down, you can and even bring it down further, you can see where that line of the drop to that movement. If you squeeze in further,
So
I'm talking up here. So hang on, just let me. I'm talking up here. You see on the left? So zoom out so we can see those big candles before it. Yeah, those ones. So because this has come from a downward line, your probability says that you're going to keep going down. So when this happens and it comes in and squeezes like that, probability says that it's going to fall. The thing is, though, maybe it already has, and that's the hesitation. So maybe the fall from the triangle has already occurred here, in which case we could find ourselves rejecting that way. So that would create an argument for that, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm. While we're still below that trend line, we're still bearish because it's still lower high.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. Yeah, you know what's good though? Like, I knew, like I said to you the other day, that we trade the same. We trade very similarly, and that's a good thing for both of us, hopefully.
Yeah.
Because while we're here, otherwise. But it's, well, I can answer why we're here. It's because we're in a freaking great community. Actually, I should pause there and not gloss over that comment, because I didn't mean it like that. I meant, like, obviously the gain financially and lifestyle wise and mindset wise is the goal, but the people that we've met in here are just phenomenal, and it's an amazing community to be a part of. So to all of you that watch this, freaking awesome work.
Round of applause for yourself.
No, not for me, man. It's for everyone. It's for everyone.
No, everyone. Yeah, everyone.
Oh, yeah, that's what you meant. Yes. Yeah, totally. So no, it's cool, and it's not
right.
It's not like anything else I've ever come across or been told about. So we should be very, very privileged for the opportunities that's being provided, and we're providing for ourselves. It's bloody brilliant. So
right, let's
look at something else. Yeah, great. See,
so I've got. I mean, I could explain. Yeah, we've still got the drawings on here. So this was ZEC.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
I think I posted this on my page. Be sure to go and check it out.
plug. Facebook. What is it? Hang on, I'll go and find it and put it in the chat. Hang on.
Well, I'm gonna.
It'll be the only thing in the chat, because it's only you and me that are talking. You guys can talk to us too if you want.
Yeah, so I noticed this long-term downtrend, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. But then what I started doing is just measuring the percentage drop on each leg down.
Yeah, that's
as
good.
You can see, it's less and less each time.
So hang on, can I ask, for those of you that are asking, where does the drop begin, and how did you work that out?
The drop begins at the pivot high. So this is your pivot high and this is your pivot low. So it's a bit like drawing your fibs, pivot high, pivot low, and then you get in on the pullback. So that's how I measure each drop from the pivot high to the pivot low, pivot high, pivot low, and this is where it found support, and it actually broke support here when I found it. I was looking at it for a short, but I've seen setups like this before where it's been in a downtrend for so long that this is actually one of the most risky shorts you can take, because the chances of this turning around become higher and higher every time it has a drop, and it's less and less. And I was watching this yesterday, and I knew I wasn't going to take it. I just set it up just to watch, and sure enough, it turned back round. Probably mainly because BTC turned round, but it is a risky short. The chances of it going just that little bit further.
Draw yourself a line. Draw yourself a line across around 38. Yeah, there.
38.
It's a bit hard to see. 38, 25ish. Yeah, somewhere.
Oh, so you got this.
Yeah, you've got a couple of touches there that haven't broken through. Yeah. That's it. So you've got that area there that it should come back off, because if it tries 3 times to get out of there, then it's probably going to go south. So just be conscious of that blue zone that you've just moved up there. I reckon that's an area of interest for you, because you still believe in that trade.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no reason why it can't reject back off that, because if it rejects off it, then, and depending on how it rejects off it, you've still got your short underneath the next line of support, and it's still a very well positioned trade. And that's one that you have to be patient with, and your analysis is really good. So when you take an analysis such as what you've taken, which I think we all do, I think we all sit there and really analyze coins well, but I think a few of us hesitate to take the trade, and my encouragement is for you to just take it. And if it goes into one of the ones that is your loser, then it's the one that you learn the most from, because you've spent the most time on it and you know it. So when you do that, then you're going to get better at trading. So even if it costs you $1 or $10 or even $100, it's a good lesson.
Exactly. Well, no trade is a bad trade. If you've done your TA and your confirmations are there and it's in accordance with your trade plan, you're not going to, and you lose the trade. Oh, that was a bad trade. No, it wasn't. It was to your trade plan. You've done everything right. The market just didn't play ball. On to the next one. Don't beat yourself up because you lost a trade. You think it's a bad trade. No, it was a good trade. The market just didn't play ball. That's all there is to it.
Totally. And usually, well, either that or your analysis was that you just missed something, and next time you won't miss it. That's the learning. You don't make the same mistake twice.
That's why it's so important to log your trades. Even so, I've got a memory stick, and every sort of chart I do, every setup I take, I will save it onto a memory stick. And I have to keep it right on there.
Yeah, and to extend on that, I'm just checking with Mick that he's got the Zoom sorted. So when you are looking at a trade like that, how long you reckon you can wait? How long do you think you should wait, or how long do you wait?
Or if I was looking for this to come back here for a short?
Yeah.
As long as it takes.
Okay, so how do you keep, and so like some of these questions, you got to understand, some of these questions I'm asking you are for the purposes of prompting an educational video here that we can share to the community, because I think it's important for people to learn these little skills, and I'm kind of trying to prompt them out of you, if you like. So if I'm asking you a question that you think I should know the answer to, I probably do, but I'm asking you for the purpose of the people out there that need to hear this, because I think it's awesome.
I'll set alerts on my phone. So what I'll do is, if I find an area where I'd like to take a trade from, I will just bring my cursor up over it, draw like a box or a zone, and think, right, let's just say for this training purpose, it's $38. Then I'll pick up my phone, I'll open the app, and I'll set an alert, and it'll ping me when price gets to this area.
Yeah.
And at that point, I'll open up my computer, I'll open up the chart, and I'll see what's going on. So I don't have to sit in front of a screen all day, waiting for price to come to an area where I want to take the trade from. Now that's just the amazing thing about smartphones. Earning money from your smartphone, be able to trade on your smartphone, and yeah, that's it.
Okay, so that being the case, how, like, I find myself sometimes that I've set too many alerts, and I get an alert on my phone, and I'm like, which one was that again? And when you don't have time, how do you kind of catch that trade anyway? Is there a way that you get around that?
I only have a maximum of 3 different coins that I'll be watching. I don't set alerts for, say, if I find 5 or 6 setups, I'll just pick the best ones.
Yeah.
And they're never always the same. There'll always be one that's better than the other. And I'll set alerts for a maximum of 3 coins, so it doesn't become too much to manage or too much to handle.
And why wouldn't you use 5 or 6 the same?
Because if I'm comfortable having 3 trades open max. It's manageable. If I've got more than that, it just becomes too much, and it doesn't sit right with me. That's what works for me. It might not work for you. You might find I can handle 6 trades, but for me, it is 3 max.
I try and get diverse trades. So, like, if I've got 3 or 4 that look the same, I'll choose the best positioned one, and then I'll choose one that looks different. Because if Bitcoin goes in the direction that you don't think it will, then you can lose 6 trades. If you've got one that's doing exactly what Bitcoin's doing, then that's your one that goes with Bitcoin. But then when you've got some that are going against trend, then it's worth finding something in that you can use to your advantage, because then it's actual analysis, and it doesn't matter what another coin does, because it's going to do what it's doing based on its current position. So there are coins there that allow you to ignore Bitcoin, but you have to go digging for them. And I'm not saying that as any form of advice other than what it's meant for, and that is that I think that there are some coins that go against it, and you'll pick that up in the chat, and they're the ones that are really worth analyzing, because you might just find something.
Yeah, exactly that. Do you remember we looked at that? Do you remember we looked at that comp trade?
Yeah, I'm still in it.
Do you remember? You're still in it?
Yeah, I'm still in it. So go to that, and I'll show you.
Let me just let the dog out 1 second.
How good is this? Is it a British Bulldog?
Sorry about that.
Is it a British Bulldog?
He's a little toy poodle, but he's been clawing my arm for ages. And he's moving my cursor as I'm trying to put it over the screen.
It's a British toy poodle.
Yeah, he's called Coco. It's a British name.
Is it really? I knew a bloke called Coco once. It was awesome. He was such a good guy.
Yeah, he's nice.
So what do you think about hang on, before you do comp, Mix, just put one in the chat that you might want to look at first, and then we'll come back to comp. It's Zek. Yeah, can you do Zek, and then we'll go back to comp?
Oh, that's what we were just on.
Oh, it is too. So can you look at Mix? Can you look at Mix chart on Zek in the chat?
Oh yes, beg your pardon.
Because we've got a chat, we've got to keep an eye on it. So we need Anastasia here, but she's probably asleep somewhere. So we have to do it ourselves. How good is she? She's so good.
Yeah, she's a
massive shout out to her. Like, I know you'll watch this. Massive shout out to you, Anastasia. You keep the fire alight big time. Yeah, well done. Standing ovation for what you do for our group, and you do it for the women as well. And we've got so much that we don't even see as men that you do for the women. So hats off to you. Hair off to you.
Right, so looking at Mixed chart, he's got let's just get rid of that.
Can you just put Mixed chart up?
Yeah.
And that way it's very similar.
He's looking for the short.
He's looking for the short, which he's just entering it before you are. That's all. It's the exact same play. He's looking for the rejection off the support line the resistance line that I told you to. Well, I encouraged you or reminded you to draw in. So, yeah, exactly. He's just put in the chat price action. He's following the price action, and he's in the game rather than waiting for the game to come to him.
Yeah. So we've got rejections, multiple rejections here previously. And that's what he's anticipating this time.
He's anticipating exactly the same thing we are, man. So that's awesome. That's third confirmation. Now we just need someone else, and there's 4 confirmations we can enter the trade.
A closure there, and then what looks like could be a evening doji start if we get the second red candle. If we've had the wick to the upside, we close inverted hammer, and we have the bearish engulfing here.
Yeah, I think it's probably got another candle or two in it though. I think it's
sure.
So it's 1:18 a.m. in Queensland on the 3rd of the 1st, and this is only current to where we are at the moment. But you could wait a couple of hours from now and see what that does before entering, and that way you can kind of get a little bit more confirmation that it's worth doing. And if you're awake to watch it, you could even see it turn around and catch it live, and they're the most satisfying ones that you can actually see happen and catch. You almost run at the rocket and grab it as she goes, and they're the most satisfying trades. Have you had them before?
Yeah, been on calls where I've all of a sudden gone silent because I picked up my phone and jumped in the trades.
Yeah.
And sorry, where was me?
Yeah, and you're looking at them and you're going, it could be a retest already. Yeah, that's exactly right. So can you just go back or go into yours? Either one doesn't matter.
Well, let's have a look because
go into yours, right to where the price action is now. And what he's saying is adjust the trend line. I don't know about adjusting the trend line, but you can.
Well, I'm on. This is Bybit. That's a Binance chart. It might vary slightly. I have got a Binance list because I did once upon a time was able to use Binance.
So Mick's got the trend line slightly. You just jumped off it. You went to a different one.
Is this sec? USD per Binance. So this is a Binance chart.
Yeah. Okay.
It's here, isn't it? There. That's it.
No, he's got it a bit further down. It goes through the first touch of the point to the left. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's because look, he's got his touch in there,
and
then I've got it touching there.
I don't think that's as relevant though to. It is relevant, of course, but I don't know if it's as relevant as the resistance line. And perhaps it's touched the resistance line for a second time. If you draw a line at the top of the lower wick, down, they're up. Where the trend line and the wick touch.
There?
Yeah. I mean, is there an argument to say that could be resistance?
I was sort of looking at this.
If you look, if you look at the bounce, but if you just, that one. But I was
looking at that.
I totally agree. But if you put another one in, there, then look at the bounce between the range there.
Yeah.
So that's
multiple rejection.
That's just that's an up and down if ever there was one. And I reckon there's more chance of this thing going short. Because it's also bouncing harder off the resistance line. But I guess if it's bouncing off harder, it's coming back harder.
Yeah, he's had a few attempts at breaking this. This resistance level is probably going to be quite weak.
Yeah,
it's not my ideal setup. We're actually coming head on at resistance. I like it where we
hey, do you want
through, and then we have this slow retracement and sort of like just a very weak touch, and just sort of bend over and come back down.
Yeah,
this is swung back around and coming right up into it.
It is pretty strong. It's pretty strong return to the line, but like I said before, if it bounces harder, it's going to come back harder. So it'll be interesting to see, because it's at a point of trend line and support / resistance and resistance at the moment. But it's when that happens and when they intersect, it's fireworks time usually. If you back test, you'll see a lot of those intersections that create movement. So there's a strong chance that it's going to go one way or the other hard. So just be careful, everyone. So just make sure that analysis is good.
Let's have a look at Mask again. Someone's just messaging me about Mask.
Oh, the chat's
No,
busy. How many people we got on? Only 5, and
drag them on.
yeah, all right. Let's try and get a few more people online.
So what we got? SRM.
Maybe I should just put it on the ABC News or something, or BBC News.
Yeah, just hook it up to the TV. Oh, Luna's been delisted. Oh, that's from Binance. I need to get back onto Bybit. There we go. So what other trades have I taken? I've done SXP. I've been eyeing up XRP. I don't know what happened to it.
Yeah, me too. Let's look at that.
Look at this. Yeah, huge wick down. Whoever had their limit orders down here is, laughing all the way to the bank.
All right, I'm trying to get some people out of bed to get online. Hey Mick, if you can hear me, can you get the into the chat on Facebook and tell me if you can see stuff online? Thanks, man. Just trying to help you out.
Yeah.
Bypass orders. What's going on here?
I don't know anything like that.
He's putting some serious comments. Hang on.
Need to pull back. Woo, I had Woo in my sights, but I didn't take it. Again, this was a very weak breakout.
Don't you hate it when you find a trade that you should have taken and you didn't?
Well, actually, if I did take it, I'd just be in a drawdown at the minute.
This one, yeah, but this one
Yeah.
I'm talking about. But generally, don't you hate it when you analyze something? Like I'm on these calls all the time, and I'm analyzing these charts and saying, "Oh, this could break through," and then we go to the next one, talk shit, and keep going, and then suddenly you're going back through for your team or yourself, whatever, and you go, "Oh, look at that! I would have smacked that trade."
You always find the good ones you've missed.
Oh, but the hardest part about hosting a show or a hangout or whatever it might be is that you've got no time to actually trade yourself, and then by the time you're finished, you've kind of just need a break from the computer, and then you walk away and you don't take it. Ah, well, the joys. Put it in your journal and learn from it.
Yeah, that's it. Right, SXP, let's have a look.
Hey, Drew from the US, how are you, man? We truly are the United Nations now.
I'm good.
Let's go. I don't know why my candles keep going.
Hey, question, I don't know if you guys covered it already or not, but you called it on 8 that it was going to go up and test that trend line again. Do you think it's still going up, or is it going to come back down?
I didn't. Yeah, because I looked at
we both called this, Danny. We both called this because you called it in the chats and I called it on the late night calls with me. I said I'm not going to enter it because I reckon it could go up, and it did.
Yeah, I didn't enter because it is. Look at this, just touched the 61.8.
Yeah,
and
touched the trend line. Like it's even without the fibs, that just went straight for the trend line and it got it. That's such simple trading, but it was so obvious no one saw it.
Hopefully it closes. We've got 8 hours left on this candle. Hopefully we close.
There's still a strong chance that that's going to fall from there. I think we need to start looking at longer term trend lines at the moment because they seem to be at a point of respect. Like when you see this in a chart, and we were just looking at another one, I think it was Zek that had a long term trend line. Looking for a short, all three of us were looking for a short, and I would consider the three of us fairly well respected and fairly decent traders. Like you've got three of us saying that is in a trend line down, and it's worth considering that longs may not be on at the moment. And that's a bold statement to say live and online, but you know what? That's an opinion, and if it's the wrong opinion, then it's still an opinion and it's valid. And that's the best thing about the space, that no matter what your opinion, it's validated and worth listening to. Where do you find that in any other community? It's true, eh? Drew, you're laughing. It's true.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Like I don't even know you blokes and girls. And it's one of those things that is just unbelievable to be a part of.
I'm not convinced that Ape is going to push through.
No, I'm not either.
It's been here for probably a day now. Well, almost a day. And eventually people are going to think, this is not going to push through, I'm selling. And it will just drop back down.
I'm just imagining Ape mooning as we're speaking.
Probably. Oh god.
Oh yeah, let's break the trend live on TV.
You'll message Joe on the slide, like, go just pile it all into Ape. Come on, let's prove damn wrong.
Yeah. There is a little bit of an uptrend though. If you go from the support line up, there is a little bit of a support line, sorry, a trend line. Yeah, there's a little bit of a rise
there. Like that, yeah.
So it's just worth noting that even with the top of that channel, I think it's easier to see that sometimes the channel comes to a break. And the channels break as well. And what I like to do with the channel is draw a third line through the middle to find a trend line within that it might just follow out of there. So you could go something like this. Yeah, you could hang on, see if I can get it right.
That's just interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah, so maybe something like that, because it all kind of comes together. So if you can draw that neatly, because I'm like just winging it.
Oh, something like
yeah, so something like that to see like the wedge and see like because that wedge almost coincides with where that trend line and support line meet. So it's definitely going to come to a head. If it does fall, I don't know if it's going to fall a great deal further. I don't know. It's a hard one. But
that's risky, isn't it?
It is. It's very risky. And I say to my students, I say don't trade Ape because Ape's got too much at play. And I think that people who don't really know crypto will gravitate toward a coin they've either heard of, which I definitely would say that anyone that's interested in crypto in any way, shape, or form, from the total novice to the most experienced, would have heard about Ape and be interested in trading it to see what an Ape trade feels like. And that's almost like what this is. It's almost like we feel out our coins to see what resonates with us. I know myself that I've got, this might sound stupid and I hope it doesn't, you have personal relationships with the coins you trade because you have either made a lot of money from them, you've lost a lot of money from them, you can just somehow understand the coin. Like, I know that, does that make sense to anyone that's listening?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know myself, like when I started and I was just totally almost gambling on something that I like the sound of, or I'd wake up in the morning and something was mooning and I'd try and catch it. And how many times did you bomb out doing that? And, because now you understand that what goes up must come down and you'd be better off catching it. But then you're on these basic exchanges that don't do shorts, and people don't know how to do shorts when they don't really know how to trade. So they're missing out on making so much money. Off my soapbox, the fact of the matter is that you can make a lot of money shorting the market. And if you can make a lot of money shorting the market when the market is always volatile in a bearish trend, then imagine what you can make if you learn now and actually know what you're doing, so that when it comes bull time, you can actually apply this analysis and actually do what you intend to do, and that's change your life. Like, what person in their right mind wouldn't take that opportunity? Prove me wrong, send me a message and tell me I'm kidding myself. Go for it. But unless you can prove me wrong, then go with it, I reckon. Not gonna lie.
Go with it, just run with it.
Yeah, totally. And you know what, it doesn't cost much. It doesn't cost much to try. And the way we structure it is that you can't lose, in that you can lose $100 and you can also make $100 a shitload of money. So what's $100 to you? Is it worth having a go? If you've died and someone said, oh, did someone ever offer you for $100 you could change your life? Would you regret it if you said no? Come on.
This is another one I tried yesterday, but I didn't take it. I've never traded Jasmine. I don't even know what it is. But I think I had it set up like along here like that. Nice to know it played out there.
These new ones are always fun to trade because they kind of just follow the rules.
Yeah. The new ones will normally have some hype around them. Oh, look at this new coin. Let's buy it.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but it's new.
Yeah.
Anyone would want to buy something if it's new. If it's,
recently
cheap, released.
Is it 3? Is it say 3 cents?
0.
Oh, it's less than 3 cents. It's 0.003. Jesus.
Yeah.
Go to the optometrist. I can't see anything.
Go and buy 1 million of them. Right, so this is another setup I'm looking at, but
hey,
whether or not we'll get this retracement.
Can I just pause? How good is it going to be when you're able to say, like the night before, oh, I need to go to the optometrist, and you need $1,000, and you like put a trade on, you wake up in the morning and you paid for your glasses. Like, is that not how good? How good is that? Seriously.
It's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like the market is like an ATM. Once you master it, and
oh yeah, and you know what?
Like,
I'm sitting here learning from you, and it's cool. This should happen more. 2 traders talking. Let's make a thing of this. Let's encourage people to contact each other directly and do this, because that's where your learning will happen. Do you agree with that or not?
Yeah, of course. I think we could nail a time that suits.
You've only got to find one person. You've only got to pair up with one person, and then once you do it once, you'll want to do it again. Like I'm sitting here. You and I text each other in the chat a day or 2 ago, didn't we? And said, let's do a call. And here we are doing the call. Like you're doing the charting, and I'm digging in and supporting or denying what you're saying, and trying to make it educational. Like, how good would it be if everyone in our chat contacted somebody else, and preferably someone that you just know the name of rather than actually have spoken to or are familiar with through the Zooms, and pick up your Zoom call and spend half an hour with them and get to know them. Like, imagine the strength in the community if we did that often, like once every week or so. We contact one person for half an hour. That'd be so good.
See, and I see you making your notes on here. I was wondering, and I messaged Danny. I didn't know if you had jumped in on it, if you were waiting for that bullish candle to close, if you were going to wait for that next level or not.
No, I haven't waited for the next level, but we will see.
You gotta get past that trend line, anyways.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's come back down instead of retest, and got some more momentum in it. You've got like the morning doji star formation as well. This would be green candle, but mine's blue because I'm British. Would have engulfed has engulfed the previous red candle.
Yeah, that's definitely looking like it's a morning star.
Let's just see what the volume is.
That's the only thing I don't like about that, is it doesn't really have a hammer in the middle of it. If that had a hammer in the middle of it, that would be
lovely, wouldn't it?
Oh, that'd be. I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you. I'd be distracted for the next couple of minutes. I'll be a little busy.
But yeah, you can't see any volume coming in on this candle. If you look at, look at this candle here. So this one here, it's pretty much, the body of it is almost the same size, if not the same size as the one that's being formed now.
Yeah.
But the volume is like a third of the size. I mean, I'm not convinced. I think people are buying this coin.
Yeah.
In an attempt, they think it's going to go up, let's buy it. But people are waiting for this trend line clearance. And once it breaks up through here.
Talk to me about your black. Talk to me about your black volume candles. Are you like? What's the reasening behind that? I like it. It looks like a city, and you know exactly where the places to go are. It's so good.
I mean, I very rarely look at the volume candles. I very, very rarely have them up. So there's no real reason why they're black.
You know, real reason why they're black. Are they just more visually?
I can just hover over them and have it in line with the candle I'm looking at.
Yeah, but you don't care if they're red or green or purple or blue or grey?
No, it doesn't. No.
Why?
Because I can look at structure as well. With a retracement, you know, you get the push through, you get the retracement. You're just looking at volume to drop off. That's what you like to see, and then you get the bullish candle formation, and then you should see the volume spike. We're not getting that at the minute.
Yeah, totally. And this is important to note, everyone, that you don't need to do what, like you see Danny's chart. It's gradient colored, white to dark at the bottom, black volume candles, green candles are blue because he's British and he's trying to draw the Union Jack. It's something for you to consider that may work for you. And I love this because you're seeing other people, the way other people do things, and that's so good. Hey, Justin, how are you, man? Good to see you, my friend. It's been a long time.
Welcome to the house.
A long time. Like, you guys, I tell you, if you're looking for a quality trader, particularly in the US, this guy, next level. I was just telling, man, you're on mute. If you can unmute yourself, jump on and have a chat. But hey, man, I was just telling Danny how cool it is to be a part of a community like this, where we can just pick up the phone and, like, I'm your best mate, like Justin. Hey, and the other thing is, you look at the way people are trading, and you look at the respect that people have in the chats. And I was telling Danny that whenever he puts a chart in the chat, and I'm just like loving it sick, because it's totally the way I trade. And I look like I'm looking at a chart that I've drawn as well, and just the way he does it, and when he finds them is actually perfect for my day in Australia, like timing wise, because I haven't been looking at charts. It's exactly the same with you, man. So when, like, what I'm saying is total respect, and I know that the community totally respects you too. So I cannot wait for you. I cannot wait for you and Branham to get your shit together and put that US group together, because your group over there is growing. You've got Drew here online. There's a guy called Craig who's over there, and there's many others, and there's a team over there, man. So you've got to get it going.
I'm in here, Damien. I'm just staying quiet.
Yeah, right. That's the first time ever, Craig. So look, there's 3 Americans on this call. Hang on, I don't know where Alexander's from. Mick's in Singapore. You're in the UK. Danny, how good is this? Like, we're all across the world. It's awesome.
Yeah,
I just wish Australia was on a different time frame. Oh, Canada. Yeah, nice. Canada, eh? I love Canada.
Canada.
Yeah, and it's like, the greatest part about it is whenever you hop on the calls, even if you're just sitting back with your camera off, you feel like you're a part of a community.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, man. So look, Danny, if you're happy, Justin, you are helping us analyze, my friend. We're just doing a chart scan. We're just looking through and talking about charts as we go. So I would love your input, my man.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, let me know when you're ready. Jump on. Yeah, anything you want, throw a coin at me and I'll analyze it from scratch.
Oh, okay. Oh man. I usually like to look at the top 10 first and foremost, and then I kind of like go off of my what's hype, like whenever ApeCoin, whenever that came out, that was the one I was watching closely. I don't watch it so much no more. When the metaverse was doing good, I'm always watching the metaverse coins. So it looks like the market might be going up. Do y'all think?
Yeah, we were just saying that some of them may be, but some of them maybe not. So I reckon there's a bit of an opportunity at the moment to kind of not necessarily be convinced that they're all going to follow Bitcoin, because it's
Right.
proving that some of them aren't. So whether they do in a day or two remains to be seen, but it's just important to look at Bitcoin as a guide, but there will be some coins that are going in the other way.
Yeah, because it looks like Bitcoin's breaking out to the upside, but then it looks like a lot of coins are losing support.
Yeah.
If you look at the leverage ratios on like Bitcoin, there's more shorts open till it be liquidated, but on Ethereum there's more longs open. So yeah, it's really weird right now.
Would it be fair to say though that the people are looking at this as a point of perhaps DCA zone, so they're transferring money out?
That could be very well.
Could be. Like Bitcoin's cheap. So if Bitcoin's cheap, then people are going to start to buy it. And if people are going to start to buy it, they've got to get money from somewhere, and that might just be other coins, and they're selling them and bringing it back and flooding that into Bitcoin. That could be it too. Especially at this time of year when people are coming back, people are like, yeah, right, New Year's resolution, or it could be, I'm going to buy some Bitcoin or some shit. You never know.
Right.
I reckon a bit of the movement at the moment could just be from the punters that are returning, and that's not a disrespectful word. That's just people in general. I'll be in trouble, man. People in general are flooding into the market because of the break.
It sounds like it tends to be a holiday kind of thing.
Yeah, it could be. People have got time. Especially because now all the Christmas shit's over, the trees have come down, and suddenly you've had enough to drink and you've eaten enough cheese, and you're starting to think about reality, and you're going, how can I do something else? So this is your opportunity. Go and learn how to trade.
Another thing I noticed on 8 after it was had this impulse. This triangle formation it was sat in that broke out of.
Okay, I actually do have something that I like if you guys want to take a look at it.
Yeah, man.
Cardano. So Cardano, I'm looking at it on a daily time frame. On the daily time frame, it looks like it has a nice 5 touches to this descending wedge. I started from that bottom. Here, I'll go ahead and I'll try to annotate. I started.
Oh god, I'll leave it still.
Oops. So I started it right there. Can you move your chart down a little bit?
Oh, I'll clear all this up. Like that.
Yeah, so I was just looking at oops.
Do you want to share, Justin? Is that easier?
It might be easier, yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
share,
I'll stop sharing. Right, thank you for
easy.
letting me have the opportunity to chart.
Oh man, guys. You'll be back. We're just throwing to Justin. You'll be back, man. Don't go too far.
Well, I've stopped sharing.
All right, let's see. It's not letting me share my. Oh yeah, it is. Hold on.
Yeah,
I got it.
Must have bought the cheap seats.
All right, let's go here. All right, y'all see my screen?
Yep, just a zoom though. Can you flick it to your chart?
You see that
there
chart?
We go. Yep.
Okay. So what I'm looking at on ADA is on the daily time frame. So the EMAs that I have pulled up right now are the 9, 13, and the 20, I believe. And that blue one is that dotted line for guys who have been in here for a while who have known that part of my strategy knows that the 13 EMA, I like to use that as the blue line. So if we draw the wedge from this drop, I'm counting.
What's the dotted line in the middle?
That's the 13 EMA.
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't start from my 0 isn't right here. That's my 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right here. But what I'm looking at is this breakout. See how this 13 EMA is meeting this trend line? And then if you go down on this lower time frame, you have this this double bottom and this breakout, and then you have this retest. And if the market is bullish, I'm looking at this and making a 22% run at least, based on the strategy, based on my daily 13 EMA breakout strategy. So what I'm waiting for on this is for this to hold. So you can get in this right now. If you think the market's bullish and your TA is telling you we're going up, and this is one that it's like, okay, this is breaking out of a wedge and I like it. That's how I was taught to trade this. That's not how I trade though. So what I trade is, I like this strategy, but I like the confirmation part. So I want to see a retest with bullish candles up somewhere up here outside of the wedge and up above this support line. And then I'm willing to hang on to this until about 35 or 30 to 35 cents.
Danny, are you loving this or what?
This is awesome. When's the next one?
Can I just ask a couple of exactly? Can I just ask a couple of questions of you? And like I said to Danny, these are questions for the people that are watching. Like, not necessarily for me, but I am interested, like, to kind of pick your brain a little bit, if you don't mind.
Oh yeah, of course.
First and foremost, your volume candles are gray.
Yeah.
Why?
So I don't like the colors on my candles because the volume doesn't tell me whether it's up or down. The volume tells me how much is being transferred. So it doesn't matter if the candle tells me whether the price went down or not. The volume being red or green, that's trying to tell me the same thing, but I don't. It throws me off. I just like my candles telling me how much is there, and that's it.
So
I mean, my volume. Sorry.
Everyone, 2 traders in a row. Dark volume.
This is exactly what I wanted to say, but I couldn't get it out.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
I don't need anything else to distract me. I want whatever I want to look at to stand out. Color wise, the volume. If that's different colors, it's another thing my eyes are going to be drawn to. I don't want anything else to take my focus away. So yeah.
Can I just ask, Justin, if you just go back a little bit to that other header? Can you just tell us what you're looking for that thing to do? Like, what I like about that is that it's about to break trend on a support line, and if it breaks out and retests outside of that trend and bounces off that support line and kicks that trend in the ass, then you've got yourself a really good long. Yeah,
for sure. At least to this resistance is what I'm looking at 30 cents. But for this pattern, so let me show you why I'm looking at this pattern. What it was banned. This is how I originally was taught to trade. Before I learned risk management, before I learned support and resistance, this is how I during the bull market, I made a lot of money with this strategy, and I lost a lot of money as well. But before, it was before this pump, I had some support lines drawn out. I had this all the way from the wick. I had it drawn out. And I was naive about it. I was like, this is following my 13 EMA breakout strategy. It even broke in on the lower time frame, like we were just looking at on ADA. It did the same thing. It started creating higher highs, higher lows. It broke out, and so my entry, if I would have been looking at this one, would have been this bullish candle right here. If you take all the other volume away and you look at just that candle, I think there wasn't much of an increase in volume. I think my entry probably would have been somewhere. I can't remember where exactly I was mapping it. That might have been right here, actually. I think I used these bodies, and I think my entry would have been somewhere.
I just had a thought. Can you just put that trend, that support line back where you had it? And
this one right here? Okay.
Yeah, and if you look at that, like, it was down a bit low, wasn't it? Oh no, it was there. So if you look there, it was there, yeah. So if you look at that, really strong push off that, can you zoom in on the push off that, like that big long green candle bullish?
Right here.
Yeah, that one, yeah. So can you zoom in on that formation? That formation, if you look at it as a back test, is a dead set morning star with a massive bullish engulfing candle. Like, if you look at the 3-star formation at the bottom to the left of that first green candle, that is a hammer in the middle, like
Oh,
a
okay.
full hammer, and the inverted hammer followed by a hammer followed by the bullish engulfing of that size it's almost guarantees that candle is going to keep pushing. That's huge, that push. So when you're back testing,
are you mentioning right here or right here?
No, on the right, that one, yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Yep.
But both of them, because I mean, the first one on a smaller scale, but it doesn't really have a hammer. But the second one has the hammer, and it was always going to go.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
you just have to be right place, right time for those, because once you miss them, they're gone. And that's a lesson to the new guys out there, that you need to be alert to these movements, and that hammer, if it closes, is a sure sign that things are going to happen. So that's the candle you're looking for. If you can find a hammer in the rough, then you've got yourself a trade.
Yeah, for sure.
Just be careful how big you make it, because they're not always going to be that big.
And that's one thing I try to be big on too, is like if I'm looking for a short, like for example, when we shorted XRP last week, it was sitting in this area that wasn't touching the resistance, and there was bearish candles and wicks right there. And to me, those wicks are not significant unless we are at resistance.
Yeah.
Or if we're at resistance and there's a bullish candle, to me that bullish candle doesn't mean anything until we clear resistance, and then I see some bullish candles.
Yeah, I'm with you. And you know what? It's cool. It's cool, isn't it? It's just cool because it's
crazy.
We can see our learning coming to life, and it's awesome. So what else you got, man? So Danny, don't sit back too long, my friend. If you've got something, or if you want to keep scanning, that's cool.
I wanted to share that because this is what I see going on Cardano. So that's why I wanted to share that and say that this could possibly go up to even 40 cents. So that's the only thing that I'm looking at as far as this pattern. But if I do find more patterns like this, I'll definitely share them with you guys.
And what makes you like them though?
So if you want, you can look up this guy. He's a breakout trader. His name's Cameron Foose, and he's amazing. He's probably one of the best actual guys on YouTube who knows what the fuck he's doing, and he sells his courses.
Can I ask you how you spell his second name?
Fous.
Oh yeah, I've heard.
And I ended up bootlegging his courses. I ended up getting all of his freaking courses from a file chain website. If you guys are interested, I can definitely share them with the group. But what he teaches is breakout patterns on a daily time frame, because he's been trading the market for like over 20 years, and he only does swing trading. And this is how he finds big moves. Is he uses the 13 EMA. He also uses the squeeze strategy. So like I just go on my daily time frame and I do my support and resistance. And if I notice like a wedge or like a triangle forming at like a support, then that's when I start to look for the touches. If I have 5 touches and they're clear as day, I start watching that pattern really quick, really closely.
Yeah. And that's good to remind everyone that once you see 5 touches in a pattern, and that's when you know that it's probably going to think about breaking out of there. So 5 touches in a pattern is probably something that you should research a little more, because it's one of those things that you just know. It's almost like you just know it as a trader, and if you don't know it, then go and learn it, because it's worth it.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. I love the way you guys say that. For sure. That's so good.
Yeah, and then the more touches, the better. So there's that too. I'll go ahead and stop sharing my screen though.
Yeah, well, it's like a bloody something in the pressure cooker ready to go. Boom. It's cool.
Okay, y'all can have the screen back.
Comp, man. Comp, Danny. Get on it.
Comp. I was just looking at Dodo.
Oh yeah, go for that if you want. So we're just we can go back to comp. Yeah, stay there.
Wow. Hmm. Yeah, that's quite nice. I just think I need to wait for Bitcoin to break through this level. It's having another attempt now, but we will have to see what happens. I had this charted up yesterday for a short, but I didn't take it purely because I sort of saw this inverse head and shoulders, which is a downtrend reversal pattern. So let's just have a look here. It sort of had the left shoulder like that. Then I had this one in the middle there. And then I had this big right shoulder there, like that. So this is after I found this and decided not to take a short.
Hey, can I ask you something? Do you
Yeah.
put the Justin, you can jump in, and anyone else too, like it doesn't have to be exclusively to us three, like we're all family here. Do you put the peaks of the heads and shoulders at the peak of the point of the wick?
I do.
You do?
Yeah, I do too.
I mean, I haven't really traded many head and shoulder patterns, so
yeah, they're a little bit they're a little bit underestimated. Like, I think that they're a lot more prominent than people come to look for. And I think that it's important, though, that people remember that they have to be at the end of a trend to be the most effective head and shoulder. Like, you could see a head and shoulder all over the charts. Like, even there through that consolidation zone, you can see heads and shoulders, but you've got to be confident that a head and shoulders actually comes at the end of a massive, not a massive trend, but a considerable trend, because heads and shoulders are a reversal pattern. So you can't have a reversal pattern if it's hasn't gone anywhere to reverse, you know. So you've got to make sure that your heads and shoulders reasoning sits at the top of the mountain or at the bottom of the iceberg, whatever it may be.
Of course, that's the most likely. That's when it will most likely play out.
Exactly.
You catch it at the end of a long downtrend. I mean, this was short-lived. This was short-lived.
Oh, it's not that short-lived because it's bounced. You could draw an Elliott waves through that.
Where are we from?
You could draw an Elliott waves through that movement. That's a considerable movement.
3 days.
Yeah, but it's also downward a considerable movement. Like, if you look at that as a fibs thing, if you go to fibs, like if you draw hang on, no, from here, let me show you where I'm thinking.
Oh, go on.
If you draw a fibs from here to here, and then look at the rejection here and where did it go, then there's your back testing. So see there, so start your fibs there and close your fibs here and see what it comes up with. And I bet it's a considerable.
Let's just get rid of this, because this trade I support. If we go to
don't show that, man. You know what, you might get in trouble there.
There you go. So this is the one I actually caught. So that was the left shoulder, right? That was, and then got in there. That was the 20%, 18%. And then after we closed above this support level, we had this wick down, this manipulation wick, because it was the Friday trap move, and then went in with 100x.
Yeah,
dusted that off.
Yeah, I remember you putting that up. When was that? A couple of days ago.
Yeah. So now that's the head. That's the head that forms, and then we obviously had the high low, and then the head and shoulder.
Yeah, no, I liked watching that live. That was cool. So you've got. So you've got. Yeah, you got some.
So I mean, before I consider any longs, I want this to break through here. So we sort of reclaim, because this is a strong support above this, and then that will add confidence. That will help with the mask setup that I'm also watching.
Do you reckon we could be double topping that?
Yeah, I would. Yeah,
and we not only could be double topping, we could be head and shouldering.
What are you thinking about this sort of double top here?
No, I'm talking about double top just in its own vicinity, there and there, in the same circle on the right.
Oh yeah, could do.
It could be a double top there, or it could be coming back to try again with a double top, because the momentum's definitely heading toward that resistance line. So you might think that it's going to push it again and reject. And if it does, then, we might just fall back down to 16,427. I think it is so small. We might just push back out and just keep falling to that point and then think about it again. Like I said, this most recent push might just be a return to the market for some. Yeah, it could do that, but it could also it could W off where it is.
Yeah, exactly. We're still in this movement here, aren't we? We still need to wait for this to play out before we consider this movement.
And can I just draw on that? If you've got a trend line, something like that, and this comes, like, let's just say that comes down like that and then breaks through there, or better still, if that can do this, I don't know exactly where that trend line is. Hard to draw it without a ruler, but let's just say that it comes up and then comes back down and then creates a double top on the other side of that trend line. So it breaks trend, comes back, and either, like, even if it retests somewhere around here, that's a strong sign for a push too, because when a double top breaks on the other side of a trend line, that's really super strong.
This is a part why we're on double tops and breaking of trend lines. The SXP trades that I took was the same. Let's try and find it. There. So that was like the trend break and the double top and back down. So that's what, like Damien says, what could possibly happen here. There's a few ways this could play out. Again, you're just reacting to what's happening in front of you, reacting what's happening on the charts. Patience.
Patience is key, and that's the biggest thing you can put to a new person, to be patient, because if you want to take a trade every day, you're going to lose. If you want to take a trade, well, I shouldn't say that. I should say if you're forcing trades, you'll lose. I shouldn't say that, because many people do and have success. So I'll take that back. If you're forcing trades, you can lose. And if you just go into a trade and you don't do the proper analysis, then you could lose. And I don't want you to lose, so don't do it. Just be patient and enter the trades that you know or feel that you know will win. They won't all, but as long as you keep an eye on your success rate and you're only putting forward what you can afford to lose and not taking financial advice from anyone, including us, then you are totally sweet, because you'll learn so much, both about yourself and the markets.
I gotta say that's one of the biggest things, is to learn it until you can trust your own TA, and you don't have to think, well, what does this person think, or what does that person think? Because then if you got to think those thoughts to help you with your TA, then you need to just freshen up on your TA instead of listening to anyone else. Even a coach. A coach is a good person to go to for help on freshening up on your TA, but it's not good to always take your coach's signals, so to say.
Yeah, totally. And what you need to do is make sure that you reach out to the people who are happy to help. And I know that Justin, Danny, and myself are, as is everyone in this group. So lean on us and we will help you out. Did you just turn the lights on, Danny?
Yeah, it's getting quite dark in here now. 4 p.m. It's winter though, isn't it? It gets dark early.
It's like you just got zapped. Like you just arrived from space.
Dan's office just caught fire. Right, what else should we look at? Musk is still struggling. Matic is moved off. Maker, I've not looked at Maker for a while. Let's go to the 4 hour.
Alexander from Canada. Have you guys had him on your calls? Because he just given a nice comment to say thanks heaps. He's been on calls with all three of us, so maybe he's jumped on your calls, Danny.
Nice.
I don't know who exactly he is, but he seems like a good guy. So keep an eye out for him. We'll help him out. Thanks for jumping on, Alexander, whoever you are. From Canada. Canada, eh? You guys been to Canada? Surely, Justin, you've been to Canada.
Never been to Canada, bro.
Oh man, you look like you walked straight from the prairies. You got your warm gear on. You haven't had a shave for a while. You just look like you'd fit right in Edmonton and Alberta.
I'm
You'd be
literally
awesome.
2 states away from Canada. So
Oh, where you at?
South Dakota.
Ah, sweet. So you're straight up the border, you're fine.
Nice.
No, I spent a bit of time in Canada. It's a really cool place. So I can't wait to get back there. It's a really cool place. Just as the nature in Canada just talks to you. It's so powerful. But that's everywhere, I guess. But Canada, you can just feel the mountains around you. All right. So XMR looks all right.
Yeah, I'm just moving that line up because it just didn't make sense where it was.
Yeah, it's a bit annoying when that happens. What do you
Yeah.
guys out there reckon? Where do you reckon that support line should be? And you see what Danny's doing there? He's moving the lines that no longer are valid. He's taking them out. He's not deleting and redrawing. He's just dragging it and bringing it back up to where it matters. So there's a couple of good little subtle teaching points for you guys. Just make sure you're watching what other people are doing, like Joel and Brody, Lewis, Brett, myself, Justin. You know, the list goes on, and what Danny's doing here, and it's just really cool to see, because it's just the way even you manipulate the chart. It's just good. It's good to watch.
I'm just removing anything off the chart that doesn't need to be there, that could distract me in any way. If there's more lines on the chart that don't need to be there and I'm looking at them, it is taking my focus away. So that's not ready for a long time. I'm saying
it's definitely got some serious kind of movement. Like, it's quite volatile, but it follows a fairly set path. Would you say that about that one?
Yeah, we've double bottomed here. We started this new uptrend.
Yeah,
and
I love the third bounce.
Yeah.
I love that. I always love the third bounce. If there's a third bounce on a support or resistance line, I'm always watching it to head back in the direction where it came from, because if it doesn't go in 3 goes, it may not going to go. So just be conscious of that one.
So what I'll do is I'll flag this one. I'll make it red, and I'll come back to it in a few days and just see how it's playing out. If it's still respecting this trend line, if it's broken, and then it sort of has a bit of a pullback, retest, and short that back down. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Could also go long too. Like, that one's primed to go. If Bitcoin goes up, that's primed to go.
Hopefully we sort of come up to this trend line, and then we sort of have a squeeze, sending triangle, and then we have the pop at the top.
Yeah, I'd definitely be setting an alert on that resistance line. I'll be putting an alert on that, because you don't want to miss that. If it penetrates that resistance line, I reckon that, well, it's going to go one way or the other. And it's right in the middle of the zone. So what's the size of those trades from 150, 180 north and south? What's the sorry, I say north and south, I should say long and short, but north and south.
Up or down.
Well, so some people that watch this may not understand what short and long is, because it took me a while to work out what a short was. And if you're not really, like, and this goes for anything you guys that are watching, if you are not familiar with something in this space, then don't try and do it. From leverage to shorting to stop outs to limit stops and orders and buys or whatever. If you are not familiar with it, then don't try and do it. You guys backing me on that, or what?
7% drop, 5% rise. Best better trade would be to take the short. Let's not be greedy. Let's react to what's happening in the market.
Yeah, totally.
Trade accordingly.
What do you reckon, Justin?
Yeah, bro. I agree. Patience is definitely what keeps me profitable.
Oh yeah, 100%. I quite like that setup, Danny, that you've got there with the longs and the shorts. How big were they? How big were they?
7% drop
For a 7-to-1 trade, not bad. Would you take advantage of the drop and put your stop loss above the wick? So see how the size of
That one there.
Yeah, like you've still got room to put your stop loss above that wick with that short.
And still get your minimum 2-1, 3-1.
You get 4-1.
Look at that.
3-1. There you go.
Yeah,
So it's 3-1. So you've got a pretty decent short trade there, you guys. If you want to just chart that up, I'm not saying to enter it yet, but it's definitely one that you would consider as a potential future trade if it goes in that direction. And I do hope that that comes true, because that would be a good trade. Not financial
advice. Just be careful because it is in an uptrend.
Yeah, but and now in reverse, can you put your highlighter over the top of that long? See, same deal. So I don't know where. See, this is the thing. I don't know where the shorts are going to be, or sorry, I don't know where the stop loss should be on that, because the position hasn't really given us the information we need to do it. But that again is a good trade. So both of those trades, if you catch it in the direction that's favorable to you, will be good trades to get. And that's what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, good one. Yeah. They're both good. Do you want to put them in our chat, or you want to do something later? It's up to you. Maybe we need to explain that one a little bit.
Yeah. Let's have a look at SHIB. I saw a triangle breakout on this one.
You're just getting some admiration for your child there, Justin. Cute.
But if we look here, we've also got support around there. So,
hey, can I just throw up that Amber's in Paris? So not only have we got the US, Singapore, Australia, England, but we've also got Paris as well. How cool.
Oh man.
Whoa.
Française. Very, very cool. Tell you what, how good is Paris for culture, food, and all things in between? It's crazy good.
SHIB. So previously we've got a break, retests, back down, rejections, rejection there.
Do you guys get a lot of questions about break and retest from your students? Well, not necessarily from your students, but do you find I'll take you having to answer that out, because it may be too personal, but I guess what I'm saying is, do you find that people overthink breaks and retests, or don't look at them properly? As like, some people think that the next candle touching is the retest, whereas I would think that the retest coming out and then coming back and seeing actual white or black in between would be a greater sign of a retest and rejection, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, if it's when it breaks through and comes down for retest, I won't enter straight away. But we have had a few candle closes. We've had a few rejections.
Yeah. So can the three of us analyze for others, where would you enter? Like, I'm happy to go first, or one of you guys can go first. I don't mind. But where do you enter? Like, a lot of people say, okay, break, retest. Where do you enter? And what's your answer to that? I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but a lot of people want to know the answer.
Well, you'd set limit orders where the golden pocket is, but obviously this hasn't lined up where the 61.8 is. It's more 38.2.
So a limit order, for those that don't know, is an order that you can set to trigger when it comes back to a certain point. Now, if you're looking for a short, your limit order needs to be if you're looking for a long, your limit order needs to be a buy, because the price of the coin comes down, triggers, and shoots up. And if you're looking for a short, the limit order needs to be a sell. So, so it's something that you need to get familiar with, but they can actually put you in the trade. They can put you in the trade where you want it to be, rather than if you miss it because you're asleep or something. But the issue is that if market turns around and you've just put it in automatically and you don't watch it, then potentially you can get stopped out. So just be familiar with it and learn how to use it and do it properly. Yep. Sorry, man.
I mean, I've not really been a fan of limit orders.
No.
I've mainly used market orders. The fees are quite low by a bit, so yeah, I feel much comfortable using a market order.
Yeah, but if you're using a market order, golden rule: if it moves while you're trying to put it on, always double check that your entry is fitting your trade plan, because a lot of people go, yeah, sweet, it's moving, I'm going to jump in, and then by the time you've actually pressed that red or green button, it's well gone, and then you're no longer trading 3-1, you're trading 2.2 or something crazy, and that can happen, and it's risky. So just be careful. It's almost as if you need two screens, or you split your screen. Thanks, Malcolm, by pressing the little Windows button left and the little Windows button right to create two screens in one. So important to remember a lot of these little tips and tricks. Sorry, I keep seeing opportunities to kind of make this a really cool video, especially for those that don't know how to trade yet.
I went through a phase where when BTC was dumping, I'd be in a short, let's just say this dropped right down like that, we had a big candle down, I would close 75% of the trade.
Yeah.
Because 95% the candle would pull back up. And then after Bitcoin had settled, we'd have sort of like a bit of a recovery. And I actually was very successful with it. I used to set a bunch of limit orders. I'd close off 75%, lock in some profit, rather than sit through the pullback and watch all my profit disappear. I'd actually just close off 75% of the trade, set some limit orders at the previous low, and then, wick in, catch some orders or catch one order, effectively topping up the trade. It's not, some people would say don't do it, but it helped me with my trading to earn a bit more money. And then all of a sudden you've got a more margin in the trades, and you're dropping back down. So you're effectively doubling up. I did that a few times, and it worked well.
Which is trading the horseshoes, basically, but doing it more effectively for more wins and more benefits.
Yeah.
Yes, that's smart. Well. But you've got to master that. You've got to master it. And you know what? If you see anything here that you think you might want to use, then make sure you master it for free before you go throwing anything at it. But yeah, that's a cool little trick. And when you are looking now, now's the perfect time to do it. Especially if the market's falling, you can put buy orders in later, and boom, away you go.
I really like SHIB. I like this trade.
Yeah, so it's definitely what's the size of it? 3-1?
2.3.
A little bit skinny. Do you reckon we're gonna drop that low? Yeah, take some
more in it. But
yeah, I reckon that's all right. Yeah, that's okay. I mean, if you're looking for a 3-1, it's a nice little neat one. It's not, I probably wouldn't go right. What's on that trend line, on that resistance line? Sorry, I would actually pull back slightly from that. I wouldn't have
come down a bit more.
No, I wouldn't have the take profit right at the black line. I'd have it just before.
Oh yeah. So I do, instead of coming up to like the wicks or anything like that.
Yeah.
See, you've got this bounce here.
Yeah. Okay.
Bounce there. Yeah. I'll just bring it in a bit and come to the candle closures.
Okay. That's good. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I like
this trade. Go on.
Yeah, man. I was gonna make a comment about the break and retest.
Yeah. Go for it.
So like for me, like you said about the whole placing your order and then retest that line, I had a bad habit of doing that. And what I would do is I would put my order on the line on that previous resistance, expecting it to be support, and I put like a 0.5%, maybe 1% stop loss. And if I get stopped out, then I wait for like a bullish candle and then get in again, put my stop loss below the wick, only to get stopped out again. So now, so the only time I take entries like that is when let's say price comes up and it does this double bottom and it has a bottom right here that lines up right with this trend line. That is the only time I'll like usually, because it'll be a double bottom and you'll already see some bullish candles off to your left. So it gives me more confidence to kind of cherry pick this one off of this corner, set my stop loss under here, because if it breaks trend, I wouldn't be in it anyways. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's the only time I ever actually take it off of the line is after it's already met with both of them. But like the XRP trade last week, that one wasn't on the resistance downtrend. It was only on the resistance, the horizontal resistance. And there was enough bearish candles for me to get in that one. But yeah, that taking it right off of the line when it retests, that's a good way to lose money.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Wait for a few candle closures. You can see this is rejected nicely. Every time it tries to break down, buyers are there to push price back up. So this is on the 1 hour. Can we go down the 30-minute? You have got that W, which is effectively your double bottom, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
I do like this one. Even it isn't a strong breakout, but it has held quite well.
Yeah, I think I think to a point you've probably found a point where it's away enough from the resistance line to be confident that your entry still covering those wicks. So yeah, I don't have a problem with that trade. I mean, it's one that is good enough, and if you lose it financially, then you know it's one of those ones that is good enough to go the right way. But I mean, they don't all go the right way, you know.
Yeah.
So it's one of those ones that you can have as your ones in your trade journal that actually say, hey, analysis was good, just didn't work out, you know. We've all got them.
Now, Danny, I want kind of looking back, like where it first breaks through and comes down and then retests and then comes down. Like it's a lot cleaner break and retest.
Yeah.
You see where I'm talking about? If you just coming to the left, that first breakdown through support.
This one here. Yeah. This is the nice structure there, isn't it? This level was respected.
Now, on something like that, where would you take, if it was that breakdown and retest of those kind of red candles there, where would you place your order? Because you're not gonna, like we talked, you're not gonna place it right on that line. Are you waiting for that second red candle to close, or are you after the first?
Yeah, could wait for the second that candle to close, that bearish engulfing there. But once price is actually at this line, and then you see the bearish engulfing forming, if you wanted to set a limit order just below, you could get triggered in with momentum.
Right, but you're not going to wait for that.
So wait for the bearish engulfing to form, and then watch this other candle sort of drag back down. Again, you're just reacting to what's happening, aren't you? You may get a different candle set up, but
how many times have you seen a candle drop and then come back to a place where you would be comfortable to enter? Like sometimes, and this is why it's important to wait till the end of the candle, that sometimes you'll see a candle and it will go, and then, you know, if it's got 34 minutes to go on an hourly, you'll enter because, you know, it might be on your lunch break or something, but you know to wait, but you tell yourself you shouldn't. And then it's gone against what you wanted. And then the next time you look at it on the hourly turnover, then you're already in the red. Like how many times have you done that? Like as soon as you enter a trade, you go into the red because you should have waited a little longer, you know? So you've got to be confident that your entry point is at a place where it's maximizing profit, and that's the point. You don't want to be maximizing impatience. You want to be maximizing profit, and that comes from patience. Like if you want to be rich, you're not going to be rich tomorrow, but you're going to be rich in time, right? If that's what you want, you know how to go after it. So trading's the same thing. You've got to go slowly. And how many times do you hear the better traders tell you to go slowly? Like, all of the better traders tell you to be patient, and you got to listen to what they say. Which time frame would you typically use for retest confirmation? All of them. I would go as far as to say you'd use all time frames for that, wouldn't you, guys?
Yeah, of course. I've just dropped down the time frame here and found a bearish candle formation.
Yeah, and if you can find a retest on most time frames, well, I mean, daily to hourly is a much different story, but if you can find a daily retest and trade the daily candles, then that's worth doing. But if you do analysis on whatever you do the analysis on the most, you should be trading that analysis, because that's the one that's your winner. Fair call?
One thing I wanted to point out is like, so like, let's say you're looking at a higher time frame, like a daily or maybe even a 4-hour setup, and you notice that support has you're looking for a long and resistance was broken, you have a breakout and a retest. One thing that you could also do is go on a smaller time frame, like a 15 or 1 hour, and if you see a big a wedge with 5 touches, like on the daily time frame, it might look like a green candle that came up and now you have a wick because prices are coming back down. But if you go down to your 1 hour or 15 and you see prices making a double bottom and it's making a falling wedge, or it's making a falling flag, something that can tell you, okay, this is a bullish pattern, and you see bullish candles inside of that pattern, that could be something to help you get in with a better risk reward than having to wait for the daily candle to close after that wedge on the smaller time frame breaks out, or a double bottom, whatever it is. Those are some of the things that I look for whenever I'm looking for a break and retest on, like on Cardano. That's that daily setup. Even though it's breaking out of that daily pattern, I'm looking for a break and retest on the 1 hour to get in on that one.
Yeah, it's
Awesome.
yeah. Make sure if you watch the recording, make sure you replay what he just said, because it's important to know how to trade different time frames, but it's also important to know how they work together and what to look for. So yeah, that's a really good insight. Thanks, man.
No problem.
How good has this call been? Like, even if no one watches this or appreciates it, I have loved hanging out with you two blokes. It's just, sorry, and everyone else that's here. It's just crazy to think that we can do this. So I reckon we should do it more.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I mean, it's middle of the night here, but I reckon we should set up a thing where we meet at the same time each week, and I'll wake up to do it. I'll set an alarm and I'll wake up to hang out with you guys for an hour or so, and anything that helps me and anything that helps you and anything that helps the community is worthwhile. So
Awesome.
definitely,
Thank you.
definitely.
And guys, if any of you guys feel confident in charting on a live call, you know, teaching helps you learn. The teacher sometimes learns more by teaching than by studying. That's something that it's really, you know, helped me by doing these calls and showing people what I do. I learn a lot as well. It will improve your trading.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not just this call. I mean, all the calls that happen in the week are so good, and you can just sit there all day long. And it's like anything, you can spend all day on it and never be done. But it's an absolute pleasure to be able to bring this and the knowledge that was being shared this hour or two, I don't know how long it's been, but to the people of our community and abroad. So You guys, hats off to you. Total respect for both of you. And yeah, I think we should probably let people go about their daily lives for a couple of hours and get off this call. So thank you guys. I so appreciate it. And yeah, so Danny, Justin, and everyone else who's contributed, really, really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you very
Thanks
much,
for
guys.
hosting, bro.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys. We'll see you next time.
See you later.
Catch ya.